I couldn't not listen to the voice in my head.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Hi, I'm Michelle Hammer from Schizophrenia NYC, and you're watching Schizophrenia and the City. And today we're kind of talking about the topic of why do people with schizophrenia refuse to get help? I wanted to kind of just talk about my personal story of how I refused help for years until I realized that there was something going on with me. Let's just get to it. I don't really know when I developed schizophrenia, really. I don't know if I had it when I was totally younger or I had a concussion in a soccer game. And then I remember like a week later being at soccer practice and maybe I talked to nobody and my soccer coach laughed at me and I'm pretty sure he called me schizophrenic. And I think that's the first time I ever heard somebody say that to me. But I wanted to talk about more like, why did I refuse to get help? And honestly, when you have schizophrenia and you're really paranoid, there's a lot of voices. For me, there was a very mean voice in my head. And people noticed the problem when in 9th grade, I stopped doing a lot of homework, stopped participating in class, stopped doing anything, just really changed how I acted. A lot of it was because of, thought broadcasting. I thought, my teachers can read my minds. My teachers think I'm stupid. My mother can read my mind. My mom thinks I'm dumb. Everything I do is so embarrassing. All I do is embarrass myself over and over again. My mom started getting involved because I was failing classes. It's like I couldn't write an English essay because I felt like the teacher would then know what my thoughts were because they were laid out on paper and that they would think I'm an idiot or something. And I also had a lot of trouble reading books because, you're reading a book, you start to imagine the book, and then you can just start going into a whole delusion in your head. It's really not easy. Me and my mom did not get along very well. We were fighting a lot. There's also those hormones and things like that. So I was first brought to a therapist. I didn't like it. And my mom knew I didn't like it. And one day she said, "We're going to the therapist after school today. I don't want to hear you say anything. We're absolutely going." And I had a plan. And, it's not really easy to talk about because I hate that I did this. After school, I got home. We had the appointment. I got in the car. I didn't say anything. We drive there, and I refused to get out of the car. I wouldn't get out of the car. I wouldn't speak. I wouldn't say anything. I sat in the car and refused to get out because there was a voice in my head telling me, "Do not get out of this car. You have to stay in this car. You cannot go in there. Do not go in there." So eventually I was just in the car and my mom went in for the appointment and then came out and said, "Please come in. I'm in the appointment right now, please." She was crying. I got upset. I was crying, but I still didn't get out of the car. I wouldn't go. I couldn't. I felt like the voice in my head was making me stay in that car. I couldn't not listen to the voice in my head. I had to. I don't know. We went home. I left the car and I said, "That's why you don't make me go to appointments." But also, I think what's important to mention is, being like I was in high school, if you bring me to a therapist and they always say, even guidance counselors always say, everything here is between me and you, but if you feel like hurting yourself or someone else, then we get your parents involved. And I was so unhappy. I was so sad. I was so confused that I didn't want to live. I couldn't be honest with any of these people because I didn't want to live. So I didn't want my mom involved because I thought that she was hurting me in some way too. I thought by her bringing me to these appointments that she was, hurting me. And I realize now that wasn't happening, but this is what people with schizophrenia might they think you are helping me. No, you're hurt. It's not a logical thought. And that's what I was thinking. I guess another time, it was my senior year of high school. I was on the lacrosse team And during that year before lacrosse started, my mom said, I'm getting your coach involved because you don't listen. And if you don't agree, then you can't play lacrosse when it's the spring. And so I dealt with my coach. We talked like the school something or whatever, but I wouldn't speak. I would not speak. And my coach was under the impression that I wasn't going to be able to play. But what I did was I said to my mom, like, my mom's like, you can't play. I'm like, fine. She goes, you don't care? And I said, no, I don't care. And she goes, well, why? Didn't you want to play in college? I go, well, I don't want to go to college. Well, why don't you want to go to college? I goes, well, I wanted to play in college, but I'm not going to play, so I'm kind of over it, whatever. It doesn't make a difference anyway. So, of course, then she let me play because I just played her like that. I guess it's like the voice in your head is manipulating. You manipulate situations so you can do what you want to do and try to get, like, you just, it's the manipulating voice that you have to listen to it, otherwise you will be in trouble. And if you don't listen to this you just at night you will get berated with thoughts of horribleness, and you just believe everyone, all of these people, everyone around you who's trying to help you, you believe they're all trying to hurt you in some way. I finally gained the insight that something was with me when I went to college. Because, believing that my mother was trying to hurt me and then leaving her, that seemed amazing, right? Thinking all these things that she used to do, I used to believe maybe she was poisoning me, or maybe she purposely let newspaper headlines, like on purpose, just out, or just purposely have something on the TV just so I was purposely watching it. I believe she was doing all these things. And I go to college, I think she's gone and everything's great and everything's fine for a while. And then I started thinking all those same paranoid thoughts about my roommate. And that's when I realized, why would my roommate be doing all the same things that my mom did? This makes no sense. And that was when I gained insight that something wasn't right and that it was me and I was wrong the entire time. That's how I gained the insight. And a lot of people are like, well, how did you get there? And it's just like, it just happened. But if you're trying to help someone that has schizophrenia and they're not realizing things, I would say, you approach them with some open-ended questions. How are you feeling right now? How often do you feel, upset, or just not yes or no questions. Make them feel like you're supporting them. You don't want to make them feel defensive. Some things, like, it helps when it's more of a peer. You just have to know, they have to know that you're supporting whatever they're trying to do, as long as it's safe and you're on their side. Always let them know that you're on their side and you want to help them. Slowly just listen, let them speak. Try to understand, and maybe you can guide them into what actual reality is. It's not going to be easy, but you can get there. I hope this video helps somebody kind of understand the mind of why people deny help. And I hope this video helps you understand how you might be able to support someone who is struggling. And thank you so much for watching.